This podcast is part of the Soul Zone Network.
Hello, and welcome to the Butterfly Connection.
Connecting your soul to source with Molly Rahe-Randall and Sara Courtney.
We are all connected, and we are not alone. What if you could rebirth your soul, gain movement in your life, and reconnect with your authentic self?
Join us each week as we connect with Source to answer the burning questions that lie deep within us and gain clarity and wisdom to soar to our greatest potential.
It's time to fly.
This is BK6, Blessings. Hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
It's Molly and Sara. We're back again for another great week with you. Today, we will be discussing blessings and where we find them throughout our day, throughout our life, in our life, and how important blessings are.
And they're not like what the big blessings are that we, hear about, and the miracles and things that they speak of in a church setting or something like that. These are the tiny blessings, the ones that if you're not looking for them, they can go unnoticed.
Yes, and like we talked about in our podcast last week with self-care and stressors and things like that, which I really hope you all got on and participated in the guided journaling exercise for that and had some insight with self-care. But as we take care of ourselves, then we can start to see the world for the beauty that it is. And then you can start to find the blessings that are in your everyday life.
Yes, it is completely a different perception, a complete different way of viewing things. And I feel like when we are connected and we are taking care of ourselves and we are scheduling that time in the day to make sure that we do something for ourselves because we are worth it.
And we're spiritually taking care of ourselves.
Right. That is the time when our perception can change. And when our perception changes, that is when spirit sends us signs.
And our world changes color.
It does. Yeah, it gets brighter.
And the colors are a lot more vibrant.
Mm-hmm. And so with perception changing and colors changing and becoming more vibrant, those are the times when spirit sends you signs, and also you can start to see the blessings.
And you can start to see the signs that spirit is sending. This could be something as simple as looking out your window and a butterfly just happens to hang out right at the window, right at the time you can see. Or you're looking out the window and this beautiful bird ends up perching on a tree.
Or you're driving down the road and you come to a stoplight and you look up into the sky and you see a rainbow sitting in the cloud right in front of you.
Those are my favorite. I love cloud rainbows.
Mm-hmm.
And those are a beautiful sign that you are on your path of self-love, self-care, spiritual awareness.
And self-discovery.
Yes.
As well. Self-discovery in terms of getting to know yourself all over again. Because in my experience, as I started to learn about self-care and learn how to look for the small blessings in my life, is when I started to notice that the self-discovery was really about finding my soul again. It was about feeling joy, because it's very difficult to feel joy when you're stressed and have anxiety all of the time. But it was feeling all of that melt away when I would notice these beautiful signs and these beautiful blessings and discovering myself and discovering my soul. And that is when I started to get to know myself again. It's when I felt the true self emerging. Because let's face it, everybody, We are not at our best when we are stressed. We are not at our best when we are worried or have fear.
And we are not at our best when we are disconnected with who we are and who we know we are.
Right. So this idea of blessings, it's not just about noticing that they're happening. It's about understanding that the reason why you're seeing them now is because you are starting to come more fully into who you are.
And you're realizing the blessing that you are.
Absolutely, because you are a blessing. We're all blessings. We carry around this beautiful light inside of us. It's buried down deep in our soul most of the time. But what if you could wear your light on the outside like clothing or like skin? What if you could pull that out and make it part of who you are on a daily basis? Now you walk into a room with other people or you go into a space with others, and people aren't just seeing you for you. They are seeing your light. And just by you standing there, you are a blessing. Because you and I, all of us, are a vibration. We are all a vibration of energy. And the more light you have, the higher your vibration is. And the higher your vibration is, the more infectious that is. Have you ever noticed that when you're around someone who's really positive, you start to think positive too? And when you're around someone who's really negative, you start to think negative too? My friends, that is all about energy, vibration. And finding blessings in yourself and in others has everything to do with that vibration.
Yes. So some things that you can do to help raise your vibration. It's very simple, yet it is not. First of all, you have to be willing to feel.
Mm.
And you have to be willing to feel good feelings, ugly feelings, angry feelings. You have to feel. We hold so much emotion within ourselves. And as oddly as this may sound, anger can be a blessing.
Yes, feeling anger.
Feeling anger can be a blessing. Absolutely. Because as we start to feel the anger, if you allow yourself to release it, now that does not mean release it on other people, but if you can honor yourself and your willingness to let go of the anger that may be hanging on in the deep dark depths and corners of yourself, if you can call in your guides and angels and ask them to release the anger from you, it is such a blessing. As that leaves your body, it will allow your light and your soul to emerge.
Yes, absolutely. And I know it's strange to think that feeling anger is a blessing, but feeling anything really is a blessing in itself, because we are, watching the news and watching how our society is these days. It's almost like there's this underlying understanding that says we aren't allowed to have these feelings, that we are in some way, shape, or form just supposed to push them away and continue about our business, doing whatever it is that we need to do that's necessary in order to, quote unquote, survive. But what if I told you that Spirit says there's a whole lot more than just surviving? It isn't about surviving at all. And if you are out there and you feel like that's where you're at, I am here and we are here to tell you that it does not have to be that way at all. Not even in the slightest.
No. And you have the choice to step out of that and emerge into the butterfly that you are.
Yes. Because every time we feel an emotion and we cry and cry and cry and cry, and then maybe journal or go for a walk or whatever it is that we do in order to help get it out of us, you are already one step closer at that point to being your full soul self. Let me repeat that. I feel like I need to repeat that. The more that you vent out your emotion and cry it out and go for a walk and do all of those things that help you to release it, the more fully you become your soul self.
Beautifully, beautifully said, Sara. And the more we become our soul self, the more we see all of the blessings. Everything in life is a blessing. It helps us on the journey that we're on. It helps us to be able to walk this earth and become the authentic selves that we all are capable of being. It allows our soul to grow. It allows us to fully connect with not only ourselves, but all of the pieces around us. This whole entire world is a blessing.
And even though it doesn't always seem that way, you can, come from the worst day possible. The person in front of you is driving too slow. You're going to be late for work. You get to work, you realize you forgot your lunch at home. Your boss yells at you because you missed a deadline. Whatever it happens to be, I challenge you to think of it this way. What if the blessing of being behind the slow person was because it was so that you didn't get into an accident? What if the reason why you forgot your lunch was because you were going to figure out that, oh, hey, they just happened to order out that day your favorite food? And what if your boss gave you the blessing of telling you something that you could do to better yourself? These are just some examples. So it's not just about noticing the blessings, but it's like I said before, it's about thinking about everything that happens not to us, but for us in a positive way.
Yes. The biggest lessons I have learned in life were when I fell down and figured out how to get back up again. That is how I was even able to spiritually awaken. It was everything. It was my childhood. It was not feeling good enough. It was not feeling loved enough. It was all of these feelings that I felt. If I didn't feel those feelings and see that there was something better and took time to take care of myself and learn to love me, I would not be where I am today, able to see the blessings.
Exactly. Yes. And by doing all of those things, and by thinking more positively and changing your perception of things so that you can see the blessings, that is when you raise your vibration. That it'll happen and you won't even realize it. It'll probably be a situation where you're like, gee, I feel really great today. And oh, wow, look at how beautiful the sky is. It's just the perception change is just as much a blessing as doing the work for yourself to be able to get to that point.
Yes. So as always, we will have a self-guided journaling exercise for you. And we definitely hope that you will pop over to our Facebook group, The Butterfly Connection, and share some of the blessings that you have noticed this week.
Absolutely. I think I would love to close with a prayer that you can use pretty much any point in time where you feel like you really need to have a boost. So if you're able, or maybe if you're driving, you can, do this later on. But if you could just close your eyes and imagine a light around you that is so big it's almost blinding. And then listen to this prayer. Dear God, dear source of the beyond, please allow me to feel, to have worth, and to love myself so much that I am able to see you in everything. That I could see that every blessing in my life is so present, and you are so present, that I am able to be who I am and be a light for this world. Amen.
Blessed be. Thank you for listening to The Butterfly Connection with Molly Rahe-Randall and Sara Courtney.
Check out our website at thebutterflyconnection.com and download our free weekly guided journaling exercises.
We would love to hear from you. Subscribe to our podcast and give us a review. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
And join us next week for another soul-connecting conversation.